All right, guys, welcome back. Now we got that new seal in today, so we're going to get that pressed in. This is part 2 of the video for how to do a BMW N52 vacuum pump assembly. So if you need to know what the part numbers are for any of that stuff, if you go back to the description of this video or the last video, I'll leave the part number for this seal and the part number for that tool and the website I got it off of, all in the description down there. So anyway, enjoy part 2. I'll show you how this tool works to realign this cam, get it all apart, get it all back together. Appreciate it. Thanks. All right, guys, welcome back to part 2. Oh man, getting a little dirty up there. Welcome back to part 2. Now I'm going to show you how to get the rest of this vacuum pump out of there, get the new one installed, and get the new vacuum seal pressed in. I don't have the new vacuum seal today. I had to order it. Didn't even realize I had to replace it, but it'll be here tomorrow. So let's go ahead and focus on what we can do, which is go ahead and get the old vacuum pump off and get the new one on. So let's show you what you're going to have to do that. So first, you're going to have to leave this dowel that we were using earlier. It's got to stay threaded in back in that spot that was that tensioner pulley right there. Next, if you look at the holes, you'll notice that there's several different size holes. You see these two that seem to be a little bit medium? You're going to want those to come up about to the top, and when this circle is lined up with that bolt, and those two are right there, you know they're in the right place, and I'll show you why. So this bracket here slides along this and locks into those two big wide holes to stop that from rotating, so that way you can take that bolt out of the center of it. I'll line it up in there and I'll show you how it sits. Alright, as you can now see, that piece is locked in there around that piece. So now when I go to take that bolt out of the middle, that won't rotate, and I'll be able to take it out without having to wedge a screwdriver in there. So let me go ahead and grab a tool and we'll get it out of there. Alright, now that that bolt's out, it was actually finger loose, which is not good, but it's out of there now. Now we got to go ahead and take these other bolts out that are held in there in the circle spots. Alrighty, y'all, welcome back. Let's go ahead and show you how to get this vacuum pump out of there, how to get it removed, and how to get a new one on there, and then we'll press the seal back on when it gets here tomorrow. First, you're going to need a T30. You need an extension and a T30 like that. These things are pretty tight. I don't know if you'll be able to get it with hand, like just a screwdriver style. I think you're going to need a ratchet style. Down here, I really had to turn this quite a few times. The holes didn't all line up, as you can see. This one's centered, but this one isn't, and this one isn't. So as I was taking them out, I had to loosen it, and then I just used flywheel here with my hand, or the harmonic balancer with my hand. I just turned it the little bit that I needed. It easily turned, and then I used a magnet to get them out of there. So once you get that step done, now it's time to take that the rest of the way out of there. It's not a problem, it'll just pop right out of there. Alright guys, I lied when I said it will just pop right out. It did not. The bolts were out. I took my dead blow hammer and I just took this 3/8 ratchet that I already had out, and I just poked it down in the hole like this on the back of that pump, and then I just tapped it a couple times. That loosened it up, and that got it out of there. Show you the old pump. It's right here. You can actually see it is locked up completely. Like, look, I'll spin it and you can see it's actually locked up and spinning the whole assembly and not just the pump. So it is definitely locked up. It'll go backwards a little bit, then it locks up going that way, then it'll go forward, and then it locks up again going that way, which makes sense because the bolt was actually loose on this when I took it apart. So that tells you one thing: the center bolt was actually finger tight. I think it backed itself out. Now there's a metal seal on the back of this. It's still in the engine, still sitting on the engine. It's like crimped in back there. I'm going to chance it and reuse it. Hopefully it's good. If not, oh no, a BMW with an oil leak. Gee. But yeah, I'm going to chance it. Hopefully it's still good. Alright guys, now when I went to put this back in there, it did not just slide back in either. You kind of had to align it with that gasket on the back. And then once I got it in, I took one of the bolts and just slid it through right there. Kind of ran it in a little bit to where it threaded in, where it was lined up straight. Then I just took my dead blow hammer, stuck it in behind here, and tapped it in to where I get the bolts in. This center bolt is like a slotted, So you gotta kind of turn I turned this, I just grabbed it and moved it until this gear lined back up on there. And then once I did, it just slid right back on. So now I'll go ahead and throw the 3 bolts around it and tighten down the 1 center bolt. Alright, so you guys can see I got the new seal in there. I took some oil and put around it just like you would do like an oil filter. I got the tool put back in there. This tool, you got to invert this collar. It's got to go one way for pulling and one way for pressing. There's a collar on the other side. You'll see what I mean. And then you can now you can push. It's set up to push. To pull that, you need to swap this around to where this flatter piece is on the inside and this bigger piece is on the outside. So, but we're going to push now. There's 2 different ones of these bolt things. There's one that's made to push and one that's made to pull. The one that's made to pull, it actually, the threads, it won't thread into that. It threads into the actual pull tool itself. And this one actually is made to push, so therefore it's going to thread into this collar here, so that way you can push on the new seal. Alright, I'm going to get it set up and we'll get it pressed. Alright guys, now I got the tool set up. I got the same tool that we used to pull it. You just take the screws out, and now we're going to put it in there and put it in between this bolt and the press. And we're going to use it to press it in. As far as I understand it, it'll bottom out in there and it won't go any farther. So we got it set up. We'll go ahead and let's get it pressed in there now. Alrighty, the new seal is now pressed in, as you can see. It did bottom out, like they said. It stopped going after it got to the spot where it was comfortable. And I'm going to disassemble this and put it back together, and I'll get back with you when I get it running. Alright guys, I'm back in my house now. I forgot to shoot a video before I left the shop of the car after it was all put back together, but you know what a BMW looks like. I hope you found this video helpful. When I was deciding whether or not to make it, I just could not find any information, so I spent hours trying to figure out how to do this, and so hopefully it helps you out. Hopefully these 12 minutes of video time on these 2 parts help you out and saves you a ton of time. Just get the tool, do it the correct way. Like I said, I appreciate it. I don't require any likes or any comments or anything. I do this just to help you guys out, because sometimes some of this crap is hard to figure out. So appreciate it guys. See you next time.